So how do we respond to shame? And how do we define it? I know how a lot of people cope with it, though they may be troubled in their conscience for but a moment. We have all these examples in the media, social media, and television and theater and all of that promote lifestyles and behaviors and conduct that is quite shameful, according to certain people that have maintain a moral standing and code and structure. There's a segment of our population that would consider certain behaviors and conduct and language and conversation to be unethical and immoral and quite shameful, something to be looked down upon. And we like to watch these talk shows that promote these things, and possibly it gives the person that should be feeling shame and disgraced, maybe it makes them feel better when they see other people involved in the same practices and behaviors, and sometimes even worse. And they compare themselves to that so that they can justify themselves and feel better about themselves, and when there should be feelings of shame. So it's kind of masquerading what they should be really feeling when we seek to see other people who seem to endorse those things that are shameful on a technically. So how do we deal with shame? According to God, according to the traditional religious right, what is considered the fundamentalist, those who have the Judeo-Christian ethic, and it's not just Jews and Christians, it's Muslims and even people of other Eastern religions. They would deem certain things to be unethical and immoral and not approved by God. And the Apostle Paul said to Timothy in the New Testament, in one of his letters, he wrote Saint Timothy, who I believe was like an elder in the church, ancient church, in one of those areas over there around ancient Israel. He said that people would heap up teachers for themselves to tell them what they wanted to hear because they had itching ears. People don't want to hear what they don't want to hear. They want to hear what they want to hear. They want to hear praise, and they want to hear that their behavior is condoned, and they want to hear that they want to be approved by the general masses, by individuals. So they surround themselves with friends and people who will lift them up rather than confront them. And St. Paul was, I believe, correct when he addressed Timothy and said, hey, certain people have to be confronted, and in a loving way, in a way that's done appropriately. But people's shame need to be pointed out, and there is. They do point them out. I do think the media on one point, and the media does bear testimony to the truth oftentimes. I know that some people complain that the media gives a distorted view of the reality of the situation. But I don't quite see that. I believe that the news agencies, people who go out there and with their cameras and their equipment and their crew. They're truth seekers. They record it exactly how it is, and they comment. They give their comments based on facts, on how it really is. Although they do utilize the testimony of some who give interpretations that might otherwise be exactly right on. The newscasters themselves have no motivation to distort the truth. They're out there to capture the incident as it's happening or has happened, and to accurately record it as possible. Utilizing maybe testimony from people that may not be either entirely truthful or deceptive. You have to consider that. But the media itself, I believe, are seekers of truth. So, and they do show the folly and the error of wicked men. They expose them. So I'm thankful for that the media shows the evil that's in our society. And, so much so that I can't even watch it. I mean, I can see it for a split moment, and then I just turn my head because it's so horrible. It tells us that there's evil and shame still in the world. And I don't know how people can sit there and watch 2 or 3 hours of it. It's horrific. So, not something you want to fill your mind up with all the time. You have to fill your mind up with good stuff. So it will give you an optimistic look on life, a positive thinking, and because it tends to be a little bit on the negative when you watch all this, see all this evil in the world as represented on the news, on television.